Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the Object 261. It's the Tier 10 Soviet SPG located on the eastbourne of Sand River. This one is under the command of StuInTokyo, and he's got the improved rammer, improved gun lane drive, and the rotation device to drop the amount of oh damn, trying to remember the name. Dispersion. That's the word I was looking for. Drop the amount of dispersion of the gun when it's moving. Okay, based on the IS-7 hull, with an 18cm main gun, it's capable of doing 800 alpha, and it'll penetrate through 45mm of armor with a 9.5 meter radius, and particularly good figures on stun. Manticore, the advanced scout, he plonked the round in. That will certainly upset the Manticore, but it won't kill him. Getting a close hit like that really upsets you, because it not only stuns you, which especially in a forward position, but it also can damage you. And this is a difficult shot, trying to get the shell over a ridgeline, just over the top of the ridgeline, into the target. Now he's loaded, but there's nothing in sight now, so he has to change. So we've got 3 tanks that have gone up that way, or 2 tanks. Case found another target. It's an E-100. And he's just been hit by the other Arty and Arty. And he happens to be a batch at 155.58. Okay, there's the Manticore again. He hasn't... Oh, nice shot! Well, I was about to say he hasn't lost much in the way of hit points, but yes, he certainly has. Okay, and we're reloading. We are getting a lot of sticky replays recently. The name of the player, by the way, because I didn't mention him right at the start, is StuInTokyo. Now, as you know, he's a regular. He's appeared before, and he really does work in Tokyo, I believe. An interesting city, another one that I would like to visit. Okay, enemy tanks moving about in the riverbed. Not loaded yet, but will be momentarily. There we go. Solution. Direct hit. 313 hit points. And he takes more damage, so he's... Oh, he got a huge amount of stun assist there. The Chieftain took him out, so he got 1,060. In fact, actually, it wasn't the Chieftain. It was the T-57 Heavy who got the kill. So, Centurion Action 10. Let's see who's next. Rounds out. Yep, another hit. 269. Of course, we've seen a lot of players playing Arty recently, and some of them saying, yes, how difficult it is to get an ace tanker. Well, it may be if you're unpracticed at playing Arty, but those people who play Arty on a regular basis have no trouble getting ace tankers, because they know that the trick is to try and hit as many enemy tanks as you can, as quickly as you can. That was a penetrating round, a low roll for 794. The more enemy you hit, and of course the more enemy that are in sight of your teammates, the more likely you're going to pick an ace tanker, because it's all about getting assistance, stun assist. Wargaming changed the rules. They made it more that you have to do assist than actual damage if you want to get the ace tanker. That was a direct hit again. And he's now one shot, and he's still stunned. So we got the stun assist off that one. So all these shots are helping us to get an ace tanker if we can get there. At the moment, you can see that StuInTokyo has got the communications expert working. There we go, right down at the bottom. And he's got the concentration as well. So those two will actually help him to get dialed in on the enemy. Unfortunately, that enemy is so far away that we can't see him at the moment, mainly down to the fact that our guys haven't really got close. There he is, T95 FE4201, the only tank that was basically a chieftain until they brought in the actual chieftain itself, and then the chieftain prototype, and then all the other chieftains. Well, not quite, but you know what I mean. They Wargaming very reluctant to release tanks that are even in other games or other areas, and all of a sudden they do bring them in because obviously they're not getting enough people in the game to actually make it worth their while. Focusing on this guy, rounds out. Well, he kept him stunned. And that looked like that was an armor-piercing round. You can tell armor-piercing rounds, they're different. They've got a different explosion when they hit the other end, or rather they may just make a cough noise as they hit the ground. Okay, he's lined up, but just waiting that last round. He's going forward. I think he's a little too close, but it was a hit. It hit the rear of the vehicle for 269, and he's still stunned. That's what he's doing. Now he's marking the target to say, I'm working on that target, and our teammates will know that Arty is helping them. Another thing somebody said to me today is they say, well, Arty never gets thanks. They do, you know, we do. When we have a good game and our name's right up at the top of the table for damage or assistance, then obviously we do get thanked, because sometimes we save the tank's butts. And he's just got hit, and I thought for a second he was tracked. Rounds out. And he's stunned again, and there's the stun assist. So it looks like there is an enemy Manticore nearby. There he is. And he just killed one of our guys, the Leopard 1, so we do have to move. There is a Death Star nearby, so he's probably going to keep that Manticore at bay for a while. In fact, there's a Tessac going after the Manticore to make sure that he leaves the riverbed. Get a nice shot from here, over the rocks. And in fact, the Manticore's gone. The Tessac did get him. Got 2 replays featuring the Object 261 for you. So this is the first. And they're even at the moment on scores, so it could still go either way. Okay, found a spot. Most of the enemy north of the riverbank. Oh, now that's the Phoenix. That's the GWE 100 by a different name. Oh! Well, that was a penetration shot. 917 hit points of damage on the Phoenix. Got 2 rounds of extra HE left and 3 of the standard stun. 2 armor piercing rounds as well. I'd leave those till last. The Object 261 can get through the entire magazine in a game, but it's usually best to carry as much HE as you can to start with. And he got another penetrating shot for 1077, and technically now he does have a Gauze medal. Changing position. Okay, they're popping in and out of sight, and it's entirely down to the fact that our scouts are not keeping the guys spotted. Got to keep the target spotted for us to do our job. Okay, this looks good. Phoenix is next. Rounds out. Close. Not enough lead, but he still stunned him. And the kill shot in this time round goes to the match at 155.58. He got the one on target. And now, technically, we've got a Confederate as well. Going for the Leopard. Well, it killed the 140 and it stunned the Leopard. And the other one was wiped out. And now there's only one enemy left. It's the Object 261. So it looks very much like this is going to be a victory. And he's just been killed up in the... Oh, he's actually lost in battle. So he was AFK up in the north. Here's the end of battle stats. And that was a first class tanker for StuInTokyo in the Object 261. He managed to get a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 9. He got a Gauze medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points of his own vehicle. And he also got a Confederate for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else in his team, at least 6 tanks, subsequently taken out by other teammates. His win rate in that game was 5,031, which is super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at team score. Well, yes, he got the highest damage in the game as well, but I'm wondering why he didn't get the high caliber. It may not have been 20% of the enemy hit pool. It was a tier 10 game, 5,137. The second highest was the Leopard 1 on the enemy team, 4,544. And the third highest in the game turned out to be the ST2 on Stu's team. He got 3,686 hit points of damage. When it came to kills, it was actually the Phoenix who did the best. Obviously, here's a GWE 900, and he got 3 kills in that game. 2 kills went to the ST2, the Object 907, the AMX-30B, and the T57 Heavy. And you can see Stu was in the third bunch with just 1 kill, I'm afraid. But when it came to base XP, he's right at the top of the table. 939 base, 901 went to the E900, and 871 went to the ST2. He fired 16 rounds, so still have 4 left at the end of the game. Got 8 direct hits on the enemy, 4 penetrating shots. That is a lot. 12 splash, 5,137 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damaged 9 of the enemy, killed 1, and got 2,127 hit points of stun assist, or 14 stuns. On a premium count, he actually made a profit of 109,373 credits, including 65,000 for mission completion. He's got 7 bonds for being tier 10, and 5,635 experience points as well, including another mission completion for 2,818. So the first battle yields a first-class tank. It was very close to an ace, but not quite there. Let's have a look at the second replay. The second replay is on the Prokhorovka map, and this time it's Photobomber in the Object 261. And he does have a lot of ace tankers in this Arty because you see the achievement badge on the front of his vehicle. Game on. Well, he's not headed off into the trees on the west side. Looks like he's going to fight near the railway line. There are several good places to shoot from on this map. One of them used to be the railway line, until, of course, people worked out that, yes, shells were coming from the railway line, and therefore they would counter that area. But much more difficult to counter any tank or any Arty that's firing from the west side of the map. Okay, we just briefly got a glimpse at an EBR on our team. And in fact, there's an EBR on the enemy team. This one's a tier 10 game with tier 9 tanks, and they've got an EBR 90 Scout out there. Just saw a tracer coming from an enemy Arty, and he's also by the railway line down at the other end. That's the direction the tracer was coming from. Now at this stage of the game, trying to hit the EBR, it's going to be pretty difficult because he'll be going full speed, but the moment he slows down, he's going to be a little more vulnerable. But look at that, we've got a Leopard 1 there and an E900. He's going to be fairly easy to hit because he's going to be fairly slow. Rounds out. Direct hit. 133, hit the frontal armor. Now the standard reload 30.68 seconds. And we can see here that Photobomber has got it down to 24.85. Okay, up on top of the hill, Udas and an AMX M451. The Udas is the easy target at the moment because he's obviously kneeling to get a better shot. And that one landed right next door to the AMX M451. That EBR has slowed down now. He's actually on the tree line. Unfortunately, he also slowed down the EBR on our team, and their Leopard 1 took him out. Okay, lined up. CC1 Mark II. Direct hit right on his rear, but it didn't pen. Only 291. It's a rather dangerous position for a CC1 Mark II to be in. Makes him vulnerable because he can only really turn to the left, and otherwise he's going to go down into the dip. And that one landed short of him, but 173. Okay, popping up there again. Looking for that Udas. The CC1 Mark II is still sitting directly on the edge, but now the M451's decided to push. Rounds out. Excellent shot, right on the money this time. 359. That EBR at full speed again. Trespassing on our side of the map. And finally, he does get nailed by TS60. Now, can we get a pen on the M451? I doubt it, but we can certainly splash him for 115. Now, they're taking it in turns quite nicely to keep the M451 and the E50 suppressed. In fact, there's the E50 gone. And there's the Udas as well. So, come on. Rounds out. Direct hit. Right on. 377. He went down. That's the first kill for Photobomber. We're up by 3 at the moment. Oh, look, that was one of the shots right at the start of the game. It hit the frontal plate. Right on the frontal plate. And that's another direct hit there. And we've got an event going on the east side of the map. Okay, loaded, ready to go. Suspect that he's there, but no sighting at the moment, because the closest tank to him is the Leopard 1, just short of the village. There he is. Looks good. Direct hit again. 146. Now the Leopard is in a bit of danger there, because yes, he was going to get shot from the hill. 703 hit points lost. And he's gone. He went down to a Concept 5. We couldn't see. That's very unfortunate. And we saw the E900 there knocking a tree down, but there's nobody spotting him, and nobody close enough to spot him at the moment, so he's not the best target to be on. We'll be waiting forever for him to appear, whereas the Udas we can see at the moment because he's trying to sit up there on the ridgeline, and that was a direct hit. We know we got 385 from that shot. Somebody up on the hill must have picked up some swatting assists for that one. Oh, now he's rather eager to get at our teammates. Lovely direct hit. 417 hit points of the Gonkovitska. Unfortunately, again, we've lost another tank. It was the Lion this time. And look at our disposition of guys. They're all at the back. They're redlining it at the moment. And that's going to make life very difficult. We've only got 2 tanks who are actually up on the hill. But all the other guys, well, they're falling back, and that's going to allow the enemy to move up on us. And that was another direct hit. T92's working hard. He just got a direct hit on one of their tanks, and I suspect that was Concept 5. Same tank that took out our Leopard 1. Might be worth your while crossing the railway line. There he is, the Gonkovitska. Still going. Our guys are really in trouble now on the hill. They need the help. There's the units. Good direct hit. 419 hit points. But now I think we're about to lose our teammate up on the hill. The Standard B is all alone up there. And the enemy's turned up at our back door, and it's the Leopard 1. .296 from Splash.
I need help.
T95 needs help. It really is such a poor position now. Can we get a shot on target? The T95's a one shot. We need to kill this Leopard. Well, we get the Leopard. But unfortunately, we've lost the T95 to their back chat, who was being spotted and dialed in. And now we're down to just 4 tanks left on our team, rather. 5 tanks left, sorry. I'm miscounting. Forgetting the Standard B, who's still up there. Okay, trying to get the Skoda. He's gone. Well, that's good. We're still behind, though, by 3 tanks, and we just lost another one. The T92 HMC got taken out. But that was a good direct hit and potentially a Gauze medal. And we've got a Guerrilla 15 coming in on us really fast. Oh, dear. Only 1 tank left on our team now. It's the TS60. And I don't think he's going to stand or be able to stand against 7 enemies. So unfortunate, but I'm afraid it looks like this one is over. Yes, waiting for the execution. And it came whilst the camera suddenly decided to jump to the right. Well, it's unfortunate, but there was no mastery on this battle. There was, however, a Bruise Medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 13 in that one. And he also got a Gauze Medal for doing more damage and exceeding 8 times the hit points of his own vehicle. And his win rate, 5,425. So there was no fault on Photobomber. He was working perfectly normally and pumping out those shells to get hits. But unfortunately, his teammates let him down on this occasion. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, he's right at the top, but not the highest damage in the game. The E900 on the enemy team, 5,128 hit points of damage. Second highest turned out to be, Photobomber with 4,777. And the third highest was the Gorilla 15, who got 4,668. So when it came to kills, we can see top scorer again, the E900, 4 kills to him. 3 kills went to the TS60. And 2 kills went to Photobomber and the Gorilla 15 and the Concept 5 and the Conqueror on the Conqueror gun carriage on the enemy team. So, yes, he did get third highest number of kills. But when it came to base XP, he's a little lower down the table, rather, I should say. The top score on our team was 438 for the TS60 and 378. So second place on the team. But when it comes to base XP, we're looking at the Bat Chat 155.58 on the enemy team, getting 1,012, the only player to get over 1,000. So he was working his butt off, and he also got a Confederate. 926 went to the Gorilla 15, and 921 went to the E900. Photobomber fired 17 rounds, so he only had 3 rounds left, and he was working as hard as he could. Unfortunately, just didn't get a chance to fire those last 3 rounds. 10 direct hits on the enemy. One of them was a penetration and 15 splash. Damage of 4,777, all of it at more than 300 meters. He received 2 hits from the enemy, almost simultaneous actually. 1 penetration, 1 non-penetration, and 6 enemy vehicles were damaged. 2 were killed, 7 stuns caused, but no stun assist, and that's possibly why he didn't get a mastery in this game, because his teammates just weren't giving him any stun assist out of that one. When it came to the credits, well, you can see 4,156 loss on the credits, and that's including getting Courageous Resistance for 6,840, and 5 bonds for this being tier 10, and 921 experience points out of this one as well, getting Courageous Resistance down there as well. So unfortunate on this occasion that Photobomber was let down by his team, but he certainly put the effort in to try and win this one. Hope you enjoyed both of those replays. If you did, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, and leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.